This is Impact Hall of Famer Gail Kim, and you are watching the Countdown City WrestleCast.
What is up, heels and baby faces? Welcome to another episode of the Countdown City WrestleCast. I don't know how we got that medal. I'm your host, JC. Joining me
Well,
is
we
that
don't
guy,
have
Tommy.
to pay for it.
Hello. Yeah, that's true. That's fine.
And we got Big Mike.
What's up, guys? 2024 is almost over. Let's go.
Good Lord, it really is.
Yes, congrats to teachers out there. You got a couple more days before you get a week off for Thanksgiving. So, Mike, yeah.
Yes, 2 days. I have them marked out very
Yeah.
quickly.
2 days for you, but some school districts, like my kids and my wife, one more day. Yeah, they get Friday off. It's crazy.
Yeah. that's
What?
right.
Yeah, I know.
How come I can't see the chat? What's going on?
I don't know.
Oh. That's
Well, we are going to spend some time today talking about what happened this past weekend with United210, with the hybrid experience. Yeah, hybrid
Yeah.
experience. And a lot of other stuff that happened. It's just a busy weekend.
Dogpound had some news too. Some very big news.
Yeah. We're going to preview AEW Full Gear, and we're going to talk a bit of RCW Acceleration. And to do that, we do have a special guest joining us. Where'd she go? Uh-oh. Well, she was in here, so
Apparently, the job of a GM is very busy. So
yes.
Okay, so just so y'all know, the GM of the women's division of RCW was with us before we started our countdown. And I can only assume that probably Callie messaged her and was complaining or whining about something.
I always blame Kelly.
Yeah, that's usually a good way to go. So hopefully we will have her back on in a few minutes, or hopefully in a few seconds.
Wait for her to log in. I just sent her a message.
Okay, but she is here to preview RCW Acceleration, which is coming up on Sunday.
Okay, here she is. All right, one of the GMs of River City Wrestling, and like Tommy, a member of RCW Honors, the GM of Reyna Pink.
Yay!
Wait, you said like Tommy?
And also like Tommy, yes, I know. You guys are in that fraternity together, RCW Honors. You know.
Why was that the issue? I have the award. I have it. It's a thing. I have the thing.
Because it's very hard to ever be on the same side as Tommy after all those years of torment and hurt feelings.
But we're past that now, right?
Good person, Tommy, and you just were so mean.
What day were you the good person? I wasn't there for that show. Which show was this? I wasn't there.
When I had a mask.
Okay, you know what? I'll give it to you. You were a good person when you had the mask. When that thing came off, I don't know what the hell happened after that, but you're right. When you had the mask, you were a good person. The second that shit came off, damn. You just whooping everybody's ass. I don't even know why.
All right.
Memories, of course. So
long ago.
Yeah. Well, Pink, thank you for joining us. Big show for RCW this weekend. I believe this might be the last one of the year, or do they have one set for December?
Last one of the year. So this is
Last
closing out this season for now.
Oh, right. Okay. So there's a lot that you and Logan Pettis, but in your opinion, probably more you than him, have been putting together for this event. I guess we could start off by saying, which of the matches that are lined up are you most looking forward to?
I'm really excited about the Sharks in a Cage, to be honest with you, because we did that big shakeup, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So we got the treats versus Living in Fashion, and everything's shutting down on me. This phone's going crazy. I already told you.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
Parks and Rec drama. There we go. Okay. With Angel Jail and Brandon, and then we got the Sharks in the Cage. I'm really intrigued to see where J-Wave is gonna end up in all this.
Hopefully beat down in a corner somewhere. That is my dream. That is just where in a perfect world he is just laid out in a corner somewhere and just barely even gets in the cage before he's just knocked the hell out. Oh.
You know, Tommy, I'm an equal opportunity person. I would like to see all the treat side knocked out and beat up.
Yeah,
inside the cage.
but that's true. Well, that's true. Him especially though. Him just like
Okay.
immediately knocked out, and then while the other four just get wailed on, just repeatedly punched in the face. That's what I'm going for.
Looking at the chat, yeah, Angel, Pink is joining us audio. Video's having issues, so but we can still hear her. She can still see the chat, still respond, everything like that. So yeah.
Yeah, oddly enough, I cannot see the chat on my thing over here, but I'll
weird.
get it. I know it is, but I'll get it from the phone, I guess.
I can see it on my iPad.
Yeah, no, like usually I can see it back on my screen that we do stuff here, and I don't know.
That's not gonna work very well.
Yeah, no,
Well,
don't do
okay.
that. It's cool. I'll do it from my phone.
All
I
right.
guess another question I wanted to pose, but like, well, what if J-Wave's like the last man standing for the treats? Have we ever thought about that?
How many things in a row would have to go horribly wrong for that to be the case? I mean, you talk about a series of unfortunate events. I mean, that would mean Cali would have to be set on fire. Okay, wait, hold on, wait. I like the scenario so far. Let me.
Wow.
Yeah.
You always go extreme right off the bat, Tommy.
Have you
That's a
met
bit
me?
much.
I'm a writer. That's what I do. I have to go extreme
Yeah.
first, and then I tailor it down a bit.
Exactly.
okay.
People interested, JC. Come on.
Yeah.
Okay. So, but the thing is, if you look at the entire card, though, like it's really not. There's nothing bad here. Like
No,
there's
there's
not
not.
a bad
everything's
match on
like
this
really
card.
on par with it because you still have Diego's still going in the cage too. He's going in the
Yes.
cage.
Let me see. Let me go back to the other one here. I gotta go grab through.
There it is.
All over
Yep.
the place. You know.
Finally, he'll lose.
I'm just concerned about the cage because Diego always finds a way, doesn't he?
He does a lot of times find a way, and we're hoping that this cage finally allows him and Arsenal to go one-on-one without interference, without what other tricks they
There's
usually
some
have up
way
their
it gets
sleeve.
involved. There's always some
Look,
way.
I don't want to hear school mom Liz if Alex does not win, okay? I love Liz since the day I started wrestling, but God, she's starting to get tired of it, you know?
Wow. I think what we're saying is Alex needs to win this.
Well,
he does actually. I can't. I'm agreeing with that 100%.
Well, we've tried everything with this international title. We got to get something going because it's gotten kind of crazy. I think, yeah, little.
Yes. He did literally run away in the trunk of a CRV, I believe, last time, or a couple shows ago.
Yeah. Oh God.
Yeah.
Yeah, he took off in the car.
Right.
CRV. Oh, it's just small enough. I guess he could fit in the trunk of that. Yeah,
he is pretty small too. So
yeah,
he can fit in the trunk of a smart car. What are you talking about? that's why him and Callie are friends in the first place.
Oh no.
Well, speaking of Callie, Pink, you have told me before you see a lot of young Pink tendencies in Calientita.
Yeah.
Post mask. I agree.
So
yeah. Oh, see, Tommy knows, but no. Well, it's a lot, right? You know, the starting when you're out here, there's not many girls around you. I'm not speaking of Cholas. I'm not speaking of any of that. I'm just talking about in general in wrestling and what she's doing. Right? She's even going to Iowa right now. Right? She's been to other states. She's doing all that stuff, and she's doing it by herself. That stuff is scary as hell. Okay. Yeah. It's not the easiest thing, you know, and then her spicy personality doesn't make her a lot of friends, right?
No, not at all.
Do you remember Pink and her spicy personality? I had less friends than she did.
Yep. And notice how I said nothing. Notice how I kept my mouth shut. I said nothing on purpose.
Because the difference between Callie and Pink is that Pink would just start fighting. It didn't matter who. And you know this. JC, I fought you too. You know that.
I know.
That was how that was. But what I see is just like that because that little, I don't know how to explain it, but it comes from just wanting this so bad. You want it so bad and how hard you're working, and it shows. So it's not to say like it doesn't take away from anyone else in their hard work. It's just from I know what it is to be that character, to be that person. And it's like she just rubs you the wrong way, but it's amazing. You know,
but she must be doing something right. I mean, she got a shout out from Roxanne Perez in an interview on a podcast. which is coming from good high hopes. And you know, coming from you, you've been everywhere. Obviously you mentioned she's going to Iowa by herself, and you know, you've gone to Mexico throughout your career, and I'm sure that's pretty scary. Not just being in a foreign country and by yourself, I assume. You know, so
Yeah.
but I don't know. Like, what advice do you give to somebody that young, up and coming, and you know who's doing so well? What advice could you give them? You know, from all your experience.
To be honest, the one I would probably use the most is to look out for yourself. Period. And that's where, like, when I made the comment, like a show before, it was like, watch out who your friends are. I mean, it's not necessarily directly at Ridley, Mike, you want to take it that way. But what I'm saying is, in general, we have the people that we train with. I have people that I train with, people that have passed, and they're always going to be my friend. But when it comes to my career, I had to stop taking them with me. I had to stop letting them join on the ride. People weren't trying to book them. They were trying to book me, you know? And it's like those kind of things where she's smart about it. At a young age, she figured it out. Like, she has to look out for number one. You know, I know everyone's upset about the treats thing. Smartest thing she could probably do right now. She's surrounded by some great minds in the business. They were
And
there
David
before I
Teen.
was.
Yeah, and David T.
I'm talking about the treats, the original treats.
Oh, the original. Yeah, the original ones. Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Okay.
OG.
Okay. So she's surrounded by that. We had similar coaching. Okay. So it's just like I know where she's coming from, and so I understand that. Okay. But I didn't say I agree with everything she does, but I'm just saying what I can understand it. Because the thing is, like, that alignment there, that's gonna help her in the future. Because the thing is, since they are guys, they don't necessarily impede on what she's doing as a woman. You know.
Okay.
But if you want to put it in conjunction with the cholas, in a sense, I don't want to use the word held back because I'm not disrespecting the cholas like that. It's more of just like, it's just something extra to carry on, to look out after. And I watched her on many shows. It wasn't just RCW. I saw her at Hybrid and other places where she was like, I don't need y'all. And she was doing that on her own. So a lot of this tension started because she wanted to do it on her own, and then she got backlash for it. So how can I not resonate with that when I remember that?
So would you say that the treats impeded Ridley last show when they attacked her?
I might have drawn a little blank right there.
Interesting.
Suddenly you forgot last show.
Yeah.
Wow, that's crazy. That's crazy.
Also, I just want to throw out, she is also the Hybrids Women's Champion, and she missed last weekend, and she's missing this weekend. And I know you don't like when your champion travels to other places, so I don't know. Maybe she should be at Hybrid to defend her championship.
That's crazy.
I'm not the GM of Hybrid.
That's fair.
I can understand. So I'm not sure how that goes. And
I guess when your friend is the owner.
If we are going off Hybrid history, Gia Michelle missed a lot of shows, but she was also in California doing her tapings, right?
Sure.
So if we're going to be fair, I mean, I think they run on a different system. I can't speak on it, but if it were my show, she knows to be at my show.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
All right. Well, let's look at the rest of this card. Where can we start? We want to keep it with the ladies. Let's talk about
ladies right now. So we had Thorne and Leona.
The other women's champion.
Yep.
That's a question mark.
They're both question marks according to RCW.
It's both question marks.
They've literally exchanged belts.
Yeah.
But that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm GM of the women's division.
I agree.
Sherry was the ref. Sherry wasn't incapacitated. The other ref was. If we're going by Logan's rules. So, I mean, why is my decision not stand? Why are we still questioning it? So, if we're still going to question it, we're going to resolve it. But we're working on that resolve. But that does take the work of the other GM who screwed this up, right? So, I went to go try to step in, to swap the belts back because I really got tired of Leona crying. And then instead of just saying a thank you, she hit me. So there's other stuff that we're going to have to deal with this show as well, right? So I'm not going to pick a favorite in this one, but I mean, if I have no doubt Ridley could do it. You know,
I mean,
Ridley
it would be
has
poetic
win.
if the road is for the two question marks to to meet up and actually get a
Two
undisputed
Well,
champion. Why wouldn't it be Ridley versus Calentita? You know, so
well, I mean, Kelly beat her last show already, so I mean,
yeah,
I mean, so yeah.
yeah.
Just at this point, let you know, these two laugh when I got hit, so let them fight each other.
Okay.
I don't know. Wait, what time was that? Oh no, that was at the other match. Because I was like, I don't know if Ridley was awake at the time after being attacked to laugh, but that was at a
Oh no, she laughed at
different time.
social media.
Oh,
She
okay.
laughed at everything
Okay.
that involves me. I see it.
Nothing gets
See
by
it.
Pink, guys. You learned that, trust me. So yeah,
It's an
Uh,
all-seeing over here.
yeah. Jason said that's why having two GMs won't work.
Oh, you think?
Yeah.
Ah!
Okay. Okay. So that. Yeah, see, that has another mess in it because Nastico is coming back. First of all, let me be clear.
Oh
I didn't
no, I
want him.
forgot about that.
That was a Logan Pettis thing, and Nastico's pissed at me too. And but the thing is, he's back this show, so that plays another factor into this. I don't know if Ridley wants to get involved with that, but more power to her
Well,
on this one, right?
No one wants to get involved with NASCAR. We try to avoid that
No.
as much as possible.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah, and he's back and he's mad. So if we're on Nastico, then we can
Oh no,
also
Nastico's
comment over here.
mad.
But let's just jump ahead. So we're here. It's on it. What about Bo?
Let me move around here. I gotta
Well,
get to it.
Bo's
there we
got
go.
more than enough to deal with.
Yeah.
Yeah, Bo shouldn't worry about nothing else about what he got right now.
And Nastico doesn't want to mess with Brick at all.
Yeah.
If he's smart.
There's no. What logical person wants to mess with bricks?
I don't know.
Don Fernando, apparently.
I said logical.
No,
Don Fernando barely qualifies as a person now.
I might need to check on him. I didn't know he had a death wish. That's crazy.
Well, he had one show that the last show Brick was at. Like poor Don Fernando. I don't think we've seen him since, right?
No, I don't.
No, we haven't seen him since, and it's been a good day. Don't bring it up. Don't change that. I mean, hi Fernando. I hope you're doing well. Not really. I'm kidding.
As a person, yes.
As a person, sure.
I think it's safe to say on this one, fans are going to be like hoping Britt gets his hands on Nastico for this, for sure.
A little bit.
Yeah.
Isn't that why we all bought a ticket?
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
I mean,
no,
I bought one.
Nastico's not going to take a vacation. Jason put in there that he might take a vacation. I doubt that. No, he'll be there for that.
all right.
Yeah, but so who do you think's going to win that one though? I want to hear what y'all have to say.
I have a hard time betting against Brick Savage at this point. I know Bo's been dominant.
Because you summon him?
I can't summon Brick Savage. This is not a thing I have the power to do.
I don't know. I mean, Bo has been lucky since he's won that title.
That's a good.
There are several times where he could have easily lost it, if not for Nastico. And Brick's kind of destroying things wherever he goes nowadays. So
Solid AF, huh?
yeah,
Yeah.
Like I gotta watch my potty mouth. Okay.
I mean,
You
A
can
little
trust
bit.
right here. We just limit people to one F-bomb per show. So
Yeah,
I mean, use it wisely.
Oh no, it's not yet. Not yet.
Okay.
we're like a PG-13 rating. So
Yeah. So yeah. Okay.
Brick has been away for how long? Like I know he's just like a return for him.
A couple shows, maybe like
couple
2
shows.
shows. It was a show where we had the title issue.
Mhm.
When the titles got split with the girls, it was the same show.
right.
Oh, okay.
I'm gonna throw this out there because I've seen this a few times in RCW or in any other independent show locally. Sometimes that big triumphant return strikes gold, and I have a weird feeling Brick is taking the championship home with him after this weekend. So if he gets his hands on Nastico one way or another, I think that the title's coming off Bomir. So
I mean, that's a good person to put it on, anyways, too, right? Like,
yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
I mean, he's kind of all over right now.
He's a very gigantic, fearsome person, that's for sure.
I know.
And depending on where you go, he's kind of creating minions. I'm not sure what's going on with that, but
I believe it's called the Cult of Brick. I might have just made that up, but is it wrong?
no, it's
Well,
not.
see if any of those cult members follow him for this show. So yeah,
I wouldn't be surprised.
No, there's a dark horse that I think might actually get match of the night if we're not careful. And do you know what that one is?
I'm putting it on Black Rose and
Casey and Funaki. Oh heck yeah!
Yes.
Yeah. I think that one might steal the show if we're not careful.
And there's
hopefully it does. It really
no, it probably will. And there's another thing to keep in mind here. This past weekend, Casey literally had 3 nights in a row of main event title matches.
Yep.
He was successful, but he got the crap beat out of him all weekend.
Yep.
Then the night before, he's in Lytle with Hybrid, defending against the Treats again because the Treats ruin everything.
A trios match or something, right?
3-on-3, right? And so, I mean, obviously, every wrestler has to go show after show after show, but Funaki's young, he's athletic, he looks amazing. I mean, we are Team Black Rose till the end, but it's also a dangerous situation for him.
It's like, can we not have a better 2 to pick from for the future legends, right?
Seriously,
yeah. 100%. That's
like you literally
that's
can't choose, right? Because like you don't dislike either of them,
right?
No, and this will be a show. I mean, we thought this was going to be a show stealer when they announced it on the WrestleCast a few weeks ago. So this is pretty exciting to see this.
And little known fact, not little known fact actually. This was Funaki's first match back in May at NostalgiaCon, which we were at when Hybrid was there, and that was his first match, and we interviewed Funaki later after that. And even from May till now, the strides that Jesse has made in his matches is incredible. Yes. So Black Rose is on Case is on the run of his life right now, winning titles everywhere. Funaki's coming into his own.
Yep.
This is going to be a match of the year candidate, definitely match of the night candidate.
Let's just do a best of 7 for them already, right?
I'm down.
Actually, you know what? Let's say the first one was match 1. This will be match 2, and the next, and for 2025, let's just settle it there.
Yeah, I'm down with that.
That'd be old school stuff where we just go straight to
it.
Straight to it.
We're gonna
between RCW and Hybrid or something. Yeah. So
it's gonna be amazing. That's actually a good idea.
Yeah, it really is.
I think Funaki, his real turning point was that where he substituted for Marshall Von Erich in the tag match against Flydev. I think knowing he had to team with Ross and in that match really brought out something else out of him.
With the opportunity, though.
Yeah, 100%.
Because the thing is, he was on pre-show, which he didn't need to be, but he was. He was put in an opportunity, and he effing took that.
Yep.
Yeah.
So, and then that's what you do with that opportunity, because you get that one shot, you fail. Nobody wants to see you up there again.
Yeah.
So that it's like that's the thing where I'm not sure who's going to win this one. Does that make sense? I just really don't.
Yeah.
To be fair, I've been torn about this one for weeks. I can't even lie.
I think us as fans win with this one. I think that's the
true.
biggest thing.
Yeah.
We're gonna really enjoy that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, that's gonna be the one to watch out for. So please go to the bathroom before that match.
Oh yeah, for sure.
This better be the one right after intermission, right? So people are back.
There's no
for that.
intermission. You know this. We're on title match.
Oh, that's right.
That's right.
Well, that's true.
So you gotta pick your battles.
Yeah.
Hold it. Let's see here. Yes. Okay. We're gonna get this match. Well, this was starting off really good last show.
Yeah. Until unfortunately Emmy got injured.
This is
what I keep going. Emmy didn't want to stop.
I could tell. I could see it in her face that she was pissed.
Oh, she told the ref. She was like, "No, I want to go." And
she wants to keep going, but no.
And her and the officials
What can you tell us on the status of Emmy Pink? Are we like 100%, 90%?
Yeah, she's ready. It was like a little pull. It was not a tear or anything.
Okay,
in fact, she's been doing other shows from what I understand, but she's ready. The girl wanted to still wrestle the same show. She's a Camacho. Come on.
Man, look, Camachos, first of all, there's like 500 of them.
Yeah.
Secondly, they all like to fight.
There's no B in that blood. You know what I'm talking about?
Seriously, look, you ain't never lied, because they show whenever you hear, the Camachos on the show, man, everybody got to fight. What the hell?
I just think sometimes about poor Mama Camacho and what that must have been like.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Well, you gotta know she's like sitting at like the dawn of the family at this
That's
point,
probably
Yeah.
true.
So
That's a good point.
because the Camachos, that you seriously never go against the family of that,
Right.
I'm
Yeah.
looking forward to the day like 20 years down the line when we can say we remember when they were at local shows and they're like now they're like the family that takes over the wrestling industry.
Oh, true.
The bloodline versus the Camachos.
It's our Mexican bloodline.
Exactly.
Yeah.
they have a match. Angel Camacho comes down and Roman Reigns pulls a Brock Lesnar. Who is this big son of a bitch?
I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm pretty sure the Camachos have a lot more members of their bloodline than the actual bloodline does. So,
I mean,
yeah.
considering I've never seen the same two twice, I'm just
Yeah.
you're probably right.
No kidding.
That's true.
That's a
Like
war
they say,
game match. Will keep going.
whatever, like United210 says, oh no, they've been here before. I'm like, I have never seen this man a day in my life. That is not the same guy that was here last month.
I mean, and we do need to give Emmy props though. Like she has held on to that Phoenix title for dear life, like for quite some
Yeah.
time.
She has 100%.
You know,
Yeah,
like
she-
she had a death grip on that.
Yeah.
Yeah. She's been a standard bearer around Texas for a couple years now.
Yeah.
And London's coming up. She's been about a year or two herself.
She's looking for her
Mm.
first title, if I'm not mistaken. I don't know
Yeah.
if London has held one yet.
I think you may
It's
be
what I-
right.
Yeah.
When I said about the opportunity as well, Emmy started with us on an opportunity. I think it was around the time. It was a while back, but I think Leona was a Phoenix champion or around that time or that era, and she wasn't here a show or something. I don't remember the status of it. It was a few years ago, but Emmy just came in to help or sub for someone who wasn't here. I don't remember the whole story, but I remember her just stepping in, and she was new, and she took that opportunity. You remember that?
Yep.
And so and look at her now.
I think that's when Shiva wasn't here.
Maybe it was something around that era, and I don't remember everything to it. Yeah, but she came along. It was one of those bring your bags moment, bring your gear, and there she goes. So that's been amazing for her. So she does need her props. Like I know we all get caught up in Callie's drama, but
unfortunately,
Emmy's still there with her title.
And it's worth saying. I mean, I know one match got folded into the War Games, but how many shows do you have, essentially 3 women's matches, 2 solid one-on-ones, and then the third one that got moved into War Games? You don't see that solid of, outside of Mission Pro, which was meant to be a women's thing. Most of the time you can get 1 or maybe 2, but, pretty solid showing here from the women.
But let's be real. Like, I mean, Brandon Oliver's been doing this for years because you remember there'd be a show where Mercedes Martinez in the main event, and then I'm over here wrestling somebody, and then Darcy's wrestling somebody over here. Andromeda even.
Darcy, I haven't heard that name in a minute. Whoa, that took me back. Oh my god. Sorry.
Like there was always something going on with the women, and we were drawing eyes to the show. So we've been doing this for a long time. Yeah. So that's why whenever there's these GM issues or perceived GM issues, is because people don't know their place. And it's like, I respect what you do in the men's division. That's why I don't mess with it. But in the women's division, I know what goes on here because I was here. I've seen it. I know what we can do. I know what we're capable of. What the top of our mountain when I was here was Melissa, cheerleader Melissa. She was the best in the world, and she was our River City champion. She wasn't a women's champion. She was a River City.
She was a champion.
Didn't she win like every belt at that time?
She did. But Angel's belt came on around after that. I was international champion. And then we went back and forth with the tag belts a couple times.
Yeah, I remember that.
She but it was women running this show.
Yep.
So it's like they weren't coming to see the guys that were here. I'll tell you that. That's all I'm gonna say on it. So that's what I say. So the thing is, like, we know what works. Brandon's not dumb. Brandon knows this stuff works. But you gotta let me cook. You know what I'm saying? You gotta let me do this. And so that's why I was just like, now the whole monkey wrench right now is the 2 belt thing, and that will get resolved. It's just gonna take its time. No disrespect to either opponent. It's just, but that is now, but it is giving us extra matches for the show.
I will say the Mercedes and Melissa matches were some of the best I think I'd ever seen, just as a fan, just like live or anywhere, because like they were like legit, like like showing what pro wrestling really was, and they were some of the best matches. I tell people, like, sometimes it's like, yo,
They were
yeah.
they were the Shimmer champions too at the time, so they'd come off of Shimmer. They would
Yeah.
do like a 2 or 3 day thing, beating up people in Shimmer. Oh my gosh, Melissa coming all bruised, and then hey, let's go fight. Okay.
If I'm not mistaken, I think that was like the first edition of the PWI's Female 50. They were like 3 and 4, 4 and 5 or something. They were up there.
Yeah.
You
Yeah, it
know,
was.
so memories.
That's what I'm saying. Like this division goes back. That's why I took it personal when the Angels title was brought out, because the Angels division, that was the Angels division.
Yeah.
But we also let that rest when Maddie left, because Maddie never lost that belt.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now then you just brought that out of retirement, and why? You know, we could have just resolved this my way, but you know, we would have had a resolution. You think I was just gonna let Callie have a belt? But no,
Kind
no.
of. Okay. No.
I mean,
No, I know. Okay.
You know, it's gotten to this now, yes. But at the time, we would have had this resolution. But bringing out a belt from that era that we put away, we had it rest. And actually, technically, the person that has a belt is on TV. So what do we do? So, anyways, it's going to upset me talking about it. That's why we don't have Pettis here right now.
Well, yeah, he usually upsets me too, hearing having to talk about him. So,
well, let's move on to what we got also on the card here. So,
well,
you want to talk about another show stealer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Man.
I mean, well, and I remember RCW and Lucha, like we were doing that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Long before anyone else, mostly in the area with it, like it was always RCW. Yeah.
So remember our champion Scam 13? And he
man, I found a picture I took with him a couple months back when I was going through my stuff for the RCW, and I was like, oh, I missed that dude so much.
Epi is from Monterey, where NGX is, where I met Scam. So Epi was a kid. So I'm saying, like, all these people go back way back.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
At what point though do you start to feel old, Pink, knowing all this?
That's why I'm a Thea. And
okay.
Okay. I know it's when I think I'm like, oh wow, yeah. But then that's when you start to learn like your place, right? Like I'm not here going, hey, I'm trying to get to WWE. I'm trying to do all this. My job here is my job as VM is to put on the best show possible, right? Mm-hmm. And then my next thing is just to make sure that these girls get everything that they need from me, you know. Support, whatever it is, you know, yell at me all you want, fight with me, whatever, you know, whatever helps you get to that next level, whatever I can do to show you what I did at the time or what I know, it's there. They're welcome to it, you know, whether they take it up or not, that's on them, you know. But it's always just for me what I didn't have, and that's a safe space, and that's all I'm gonna say. It's a way for them to just. You go to the show, you have veterans all around. You have a female right here, okay? Because there's a lot of times you go, you're not gonna, you don't always have the benefit of that, you know?
Right.
So that's all that's gonna be for now. It's just that's what I bring for them.
Okay. Tag team action here.
So, I mean, you talk about opportunity.
Oh my!
They're going to get beat up, but
it's an opportunity.
You know, we've been seeing vintage Danny Vintage, Eric Walker around for the last year or so. You want to make a name for yourself? You want to take a next step? I mean, the Pillars are.
But the Pillars are mad right now.
I know, I get it, but
I mean, technically they're mad all the time, so this is not really all that different. But you know,
right? But you know.
So is the remote control going to work? This is the guy with the remote control, right?
Yes.
Yes. Is it going to work on the Pillars? That's the big thing.
Here's the problem. I don't know if the technology works on Vikings.
Right.
So that's the problem. So
I don't know if the time periods.
I feel like they're like descendants of Kratos. So like they would just like immediately it wouldn't work.
Yeah.
Yeah. But you know, I mean, you're getting yourself on the show. It's a good.
There's the opportunity.
What's probably been the RCW tag team in the last couple of years, you know, make a name for yourself.
Yeah. Well, those beware what you wish for. I think that does it. We've gone through every match that's on the card. So
I think
Yeah.
so.
yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be such a good show.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Oh man. I'm gonna lose my voice again.
Mhm.
And also, I don't know how much you know, but like I'm assuming War Games, they're going to do the like letting one person in at a time, or
That's a Logan Pettis question.
oh, okay, no.
Okay.
That end of because that's where it
The
falls
one
on
time we
my
need him to do something right, and he's not here.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one is actually with him and the steel because the cage thing came all from him in general, just because he started that with Diego and Alex. And since we had the cage, like, well, why don't we just throw them all in the cage? Was the comment he made actually, and then here we are. So rule wise, since he's the stickler for the rules, I'm going to let him decide that one.
Right.
But also the War Games style is very time consuming, so it would also come down to
Yeah.
probably what our other matches plus title match as well. We are on title match for those that don't have tickets.
That was a
Yes.
good point.
And I don't know if Time Match is still running a deal right now too. So, all right. Well, Ping, it's been a pleasure. This is pretty awesome, and maybe we should do this every RCW show. Get you, and or Logan. Although I don't know if you and Logan are on here, you guys would be fighting each other the whole time. So,
I'm interrupting him on purpose.
Right. If you
I mean,
want to go,
that could be fun though. I can't even lie.
if you want to see a preview of what that is, go check out our friends at Talk and Listening because they had that not too long ago. Yeah. So.
Oh yeah, yeah.
She said, "Oh yeah."
Well, a lot of there's still about an hour's worth of content in the can there.
Right. Knopf does a pre-recorded show and then he edits it down. But, yeah.
Well, Ping, before you go, I want to ask something. You and I go back a long time, and it's crazy. We're reminiscing about how RCW was. I still remember some of your shows that we've gone to, and obviously, you kind of came back recently with RCW, obviously from the RCW Honors Award last year. How has wrestling been now compared to when you were wrestling? Gosh, it's been like what, 10 years ago?
Oh my God, we don't have another hour, JC.
Yeah, I
Oh, JC didn't know we're going to midnight tonight.
Yeah. So.
No, the key points on it. Well, if you start just from a wrestling standpoint, there's reputable schools with an S, not just one trainer. So there's schools, there's choices, right? There's look at developmentals here in Texas, right? There's opportunities all over the place. It's not just the one end all be all. I remember too when I started training, you had to look like a diva, and even at my skinniest, I was still what they wanted as a diva. There was a diva shape. It wasn't me. So that's like just there was probably like 5 girls in Texas total, maybe, and 3 of them could work. Athena was one.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying, like, it was not, yeah, it's a very different atmosphere. It's a more coaching type atmosphere, if I want to say, right? Like, where it's more like you go to school, you get coached. I don't want to get into too much because it just goes into other stuff, but
even the backstage vibe, you feel like people are supporting each other more.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then what's the craziest part? And I told this on other podcasts. So like these kids, right? And a lot of them, not just hybrid. Like we'll go to the kids from Booker's, right? You got Overkill, you got Gino, and all them that were there. Mysterious Q, and they're like, how is my match? Who, me? Wait, you're asking me? Like, oh, yay, okay, because you forget. Wait, I'm the veteran now. You know what I mean? Like time just flew, and all of a sudden, because even with years under my belt, there was a point where I still wasn't considered one because I was a girl, and that's not to anyone. That was just how the whole business was. Like you got 10 years under your belt, but she don't know what she's talking about. Oh. And so now you go and like, I mean, just how is this? Did you see this? Like, yeah, it was good. Like completely different vibe in general from everyone. Yeah, as I said, we just get anyone and everyone talks. There's no, I don't any standoffishness or, oh, I'm not talking to them. Oh, don't talk to me, except Logan.
Mm.
Well,
Because
yeah.
Logan pushed me, so Logan gotta learn when you push Pink what happens. He gonna find out.
I mean, there is a steel cage there this Sunday.
Yeah,
Just saying.
Well, fair enough.
maybe the one time it'll be a battle of the GMs for control of RCW. Who knows? We'll see.
Is that
So-
what my legacy has come to, where I battle Logan Pettis for mine?
No, that's just
I
for
was like-
fun.
At one point, I was like, hey, I'm gonna get to wrestle Maddie. At one point, I was thinking in my head, right? And then Logan.
I know it's not the best consolation prize, but hey, So
Is this rock bottom?
no.
No.
No, you're. Oh, not gonna say that. Not gonna say that. Whoa, that was too mean even for me. Whoa, I caught that just in time. Damn. Never mind. Ignore me. I didn't say anything.
Oh, that's easy. I can ignore you all day.
Wow.
See, that's a
Wasn't
nice
a
segment, Tommy. It took me that long before I said anything.
That's fair. That you're right. You because you didn't go this long. It's been how many minutes since you insulted me last? So that's fair.
Yeah.
See, I'm trying.
Well, RCW Acceleration Sunday, November 24th at 5 p.m. Central Time. I think doors are opening at 4, right, Pink?
Yeah. Oh,
Yes.
Good Shepherd Lutheran Church, and I don't know if there's any tickets left. If anything, that might be standing room only.
Probably.
So if you can't make it there, get on Title Match Network, and you can watch it live. So along with every other RCW show that's been on our Title Match Network, Mission Pro, any other.
We've been number one on Title Match every single one. We've been number one on Title Match every single one.
Hey, for good reason, right? So
because we're putting in the work, man. We're putting in the work.
All right.
And it's a team collaborative effort back there. It goes from, and it's not just Brandon. It's Mel, it's our makeup artist. It's all the agents in the back. We have agents. If there's a whole team that does all this. It's not just one thing, So it takes a lot. Now that's another thing that has changed, though. It's not just one person or this person. There's a whole team back there to put this production on. It is a production. That's what it is.
For sure.
Yeah. It's major.
Well, thank you for joining us. Finally had you on. I'm very happy we did. And maybe we, whenever the next RCW show is, I don't know if January, February, whenever they announce it.
I would assume January for a Rumble related one. So that's usually what happens.
Oh, yeah.
Well, Rumble Royale, probably.
Exactly.
Right?
With cheese.
Which so.
Man, I'm not going to get licked by Bushwhacker Luke.
Oh man!
Oh man!
Again, taking me back. Okay.
Yeah.
There's also we did an interview with him at a little mall con, and we haven't been able to put it out because
there was too much.
He said too many stories openly, and we're like, oh, all right then.
Oh.
Still entertaining though.
It was. But...
Yeah. Well, Pink, thank you for joining us. Thank you so much for coming on the WrestleCast. It's been a pleasure.
Okay, and then let me know when you want me on next.
For sure.
Awesome.
Thank
Bye,
you,
fellow RCW honoree.
Thank you.
Bye, Tommy.
Bye.
Bye.
All right. Good stuff. That was kind of cool to kind of go through match by match with one of the GMs and talk through it. Yeah, for sure.
And
by the way, that's why I keep this here at all times, just so I can do that. Eventually, I have to take it to my parents' house because my dad wants to display it. But that's the reason why I keep it here, is just so whenever I talk, so I can just kind of do that.
Well, let him. You need to get you a replica so you can take the original to your parents' house. And
exactly.
Replica there,
Yeah. I might just take pictures of it, just always just like kind of just like put it as a permanent paper.
Yeah. Right.
Don't tempt me. I thought about doing that too. Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you again, Pink, for joining us. It's been a long overdue. And God, reminisce. I'm starting to feel old.
Dude,
now.
she said Darcy Drake, and I was like,
Yeah.
bruh, oh my God.
But also, it's weird because he said there toward the end that like Athena was one of the 3 people that could work, and I remember early Athena, like we remember her from HCW. So the time in my head is just crazy.
Yeah. And it's funny, that question I asked, like, she had the hiatus in wrestling for a bit, got back into it. How is it now? we asked something similar to Angela Armstrong when she's still under the Angel Blue moniker, and she was very similar answer. I'm the veteran now. Like people are coming to me for that, you know.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Like,
you start to
it's like, hey, how did that look? Why are you
Yeah.
asking? Oh, you
Oh,
want my
yeah.
opinion? Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah,
So-
let's do that.
Yeah.
But I've also heard from other places about the positivity,
Mhm.
right? Like, RCW works closely with Hybrid, United works closely with Hybrid. People are cool with Dog Pound. BOW is bringing some people in. Like, there was a lot more, even if some of them weren't specifically collaborating, like it wasn't some of the stories that I'm sure she has, and
Yeah.
we've heard about the way things were in the past, and she was saying so.
Yep.
That's really awesome. We just get to benefit from all that. So
It's a different time, different world, and even better, you know.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Schools are teaching you to be respectful, which is pretty cool. All right. Well, let's talk a bit about what happened over this past weekend, and we could run down show by show, but I don't know what you guys want to do. You guys were everywhere this weekend.
yes, we were.
Yeah.
Me on the other hand, I felt like I was everywhere, but I was really at a softball tournament that just ran all day, and then supporting one of my players at a basketball game the next day. But I'm gonna put it this way: you guys went to United210, RCW. Mike,
Hybrid.
did you go to I'm sorry, RCW Hybrid.
Yep.
Mike, did you go to? I know Tommy went to Dog Pound. Did you go to, Mike? or
No,
Okay,
but before that on Sunday was Baracho Pro,
Baracho Pro. There we go.
which was at the yard.
Yeah.
was at the yard. So I'm gonna challenge you guys for each of y'all to give me your top 3 highlights of the entire weekend.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Well, should we just go ahead and throw the honorary consensus highlight of the weekend, Tommy?
You talking about the slap?
Tommy got assaulted at the Baracho Pro show.
Yeah.
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 There is
It went
video.
overboard. Yeah. There are several apparently.
If we want to share it, I'm just throwing that
Go
out
for
Do
it.
you have it
I
in
mean-
front of you? Yeah,
Oh, by the
Um,
way, Mike, I forgot to tell you this. Callie had a video of it and sent it to me.
Did she have it in slow mo? I feel like she would be recording that shit in slow mo.
I don't know if she's recording it. I don't even know where she got it, but she had a clip
Okay.
and sent it to me.
Once things were starting to calm down, and you were helping Jay Young because he also got attacked
Well,
afterwards,
yeah, because we were all getting beat.
and we were kind of moving back toward the house, and I saw Callie there, and I just pointed at her, and I go, "You enjoyed that." I was like, "You were smiling the whole time, weren't you?" And she sure enough was.
That's why I messaged her when she sent me that. I said, "You're enjoying this, aren't you?" She said yes. And Jason, yes, I agree. It was a sucker punch because first of all, I am not a worker. I am a fan, sir.
All right, so hold on. Let me see if we can do this.
Angel, damn it.
Can you all see the Facebook page?
Yeah, make it full screen if you can. Right there.
Okay, hold on. So this is from the Sunday Baracho Pro, and it's going to go real quick. I'm not going to show the whole thing. So pay attention very quickly in about 8 seconds because Hit, who we had on the show not too long ago, has seemed like a really cool dude.
Last week, wasn't it?
Yes. Had a
Okay,
weekend. At Hybrid, him and K-Jax literally just stole the tag team titles
Literally.
and decided they are the tag champs. Then at Baracho Pro, again, after earlier in the show, having whispered in the ear by Brick Savage, went off after Casey defeated him by countout in what wound up being the main event. But here's kind of some of the stuff, and just watch the video about 8 seconds.
Yep.
And there's
Yep.
a nice little slap of Tommy.
Yep.
Sean, unfortunately, I will not make it this weekend. My daughter's team is hosting a tournament, and it's going to be an all-day thing for me as a head coach. So I am going to be pretty busy trying to help raise money for my
Man,
daughter's
what is it
team.
with your daughter and like trying to be good at things? Like what's up with that? Like I've been,
You
these
know
kids
what?
today-
I will say this: when she works hard, it's
No,
amazing.
I was
Trust
really
me.
being a dick. She's awesome. So
Yeah, we're gonna be playing some winter ball, and like we're looking at because they're 10U age right now, And looking at the 10U teams there, it's like their first year, like we're second year. We want to be pushing. We want to get to a world like the Pony World Series next summer. Well, let's go play 12U. So they're gonna play over the winter 12U league. Like it's the bigger softball, the pitching distance a little further, and so she's already, learning how to pitch from that distance, and it's gonna help her a lot. Because let me tell you, I'm there every Monday with her pitching lessons, and she was working with that bigger ball. She struggled with it, but when we switched it back to the 10U ball, she's zipping that sucker. It's scary. I'm gonna need full catcher's gear at this point, is the way I can see it.
To be clear, your kids' athleticism makes me feel very inadequate. Please continue.
Oh, they're more athletic than I was as a kid. Let me tell you.
They're more athletic than I am, have been, or ever will be. So yeah.
So you know how Texas has like 1 week of winter a year, and that's really all we get.
Yeah.
What's the one weekend of year you don't have games to take care of or go to? Is there like one?
Giving the girls a few weeks off around Christmas. They're not going to do anything for Thanksgiving. But I think youth sports, Pink was talking to it a bit about us beforehand. It's more than having great people, boys or girls that you coach, you got to have great parents. And
sure.
and I'm very, very proud of the parents that we have on the team, because they're very supportive. They ask questions. They understand the process. They understand that this is a development thing. We're not just chasing. We're not just doing tournaments to win championships. We're trying to develop to get better to win the championship. Like that's what we're working to, and it gives the girls something to strive for. It teaches them teamwork, about goals, things like that, and it's a pretty amazing thing. Let me tell you. So
nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
Yeah. Her and my son are both much better athletes than I was at their age. Let me tell you. So. Anyway, back to this past weekend. It goes Tommy. I don't know how we segue from that to Tommy getting smacked in the face, but where do you go from here?
Well, me personally, I go to my therapist to deal with the. No, I'm kidding. No, it's dude.
That shouldn't be a joke. It's okay to do that, Tommy.
Yeah. Now, if I'm going to therapy, it's for other stuff, not for the stuff I say or do at wrestling shows. Okay. Getting beat up by a wrestler. Come on, that's in the top 10 of things that it's bound to happen in my life. Let's be honest.
That's already happened. We've talked about this too.
Yeah, like first of all, he's not new at this. Oh no, he hit me. Oh yeah, dude, get in line. You're like number 5.
And look, JC, I brought this up too. What if Lance Archer shows up? Like, if there's one really tall Texan who's going to beat up Tommy, it's me. It's not the new kid. Mm-hmm. So I'm just saying, there's somewhere in the future down the road.
I'm trying to remember. I'm trying to think of all the times that Tommy's like been involved somehow.
There's one time out of one of the Dallas shows, I just remember watching the video before I even really knew Tommy, and he's just getting beat up like in an interview or in a.
Well, that was in Lufkin. Yeah, I heard that one.
Like it's one of their promos or whatever.
Yeah, I got super kicked. I got jumped and choked, kicked, and then hit in the chest.
And in all fairness, Callie like assaults you every other show. It just doesn't really affect you any.
Yeah, she shoves her belt in my face. She
knocks things out.
Yeah, she walks past me, which I also consider assault if you ask me. But I mean, that's just my opinion of it. But the
laws. We're no JL shirts.
Sean, have fun as well. Yes, definitely. The sport has to be fun. I'm going to nominate this one for comment of the show.
Angel, that wasn't what we were trying to. That wasn't the point. That wasn't the theme of the seminar that we were giving just now. That wasn't what we were trying. Never mind. Okay, you know what? I started to telling the story was a bad idea.
Yeah, she's also kind of on Team Callie a bit. So I don't know.
What the hell, bro? If the line, okay, maybe the line is that long, but dude, really?
Old all the time, so
yeah. All right. Well, beyond that, what were like your top 3 highlights from the whole weekend?
Okay, Mike, you can go first.
Well, again, like I mentioned earlier, Casey literally main evented all 3 shows. Well,
that was in my time.
Tommy went to one more, but I only went to the 3. He main evented all 3 of those. He wasn't technically the Badacho Pro champion, but he is the United210 champion, which he won Friday night. and every opponent he faced easily over 300 pounds. Angel Camacho is like maybe 500 pounds. I don't know. That dude's humongous.
Yeah, about at least
and then Ryan Davidson was announced at 260. And if I've ever seen the most BS, like, that dude was 260 about like 3 or 4 years ago, maybe. That dude is built and big, and that is the personification of like a bear man. And then Hit on, who's like 6'7" and thick as a tree. So
you throw people left and right. Sorry, I'm still projecting. So
yeah, like he literally faced over 1,000 pounds of opponent over 3 days and came out victorious in every one. So that was pretty cool to see. Jesse Funaki was another highlight of some of the shows. He did team with Stash at Hybrid. He was involved in a tag match with Animo at Baracho Pro. But again, that kid has such a bright future. And he's such a nice guy too. Like, always comes up to us to say hi. Like, that's strange sometimes when a like wrestler goes out of their way to come talk to us. I'm like, oh, all right.
I really do think, like, and this is not to say, oh, look what we did, but I really do think that the fact that we interviewed him after that match is like, I think he really took that to heart, which makes me feel good. Like, I'm glad that we could do that for him, because that makes me feel really good that we were able to give him that, because he's a good dude. He could have the nepotism thing and everything with his dad, but I really don't think he has that. I think he just really takes everything that he's been given.
I don't think his dad will let him either. The way I've heard,
well, I mean that too. But
but I know what you mean. But the way I've heard he coaches them, like, I don't think he would let them.
Yeah, that's true too.
And then you know what? Shout out to Brandon Weiss, the Flaimo King. I don't think that guy gets enough credit. Like, I know the Brawlers were one of the best tag teams earlier in the year, and they've kind of gone their separate ways. I know, right? It played.
I will
perfectly.
Definitely applaud you for that one. Nice job.
Because of the run Casey's on, but Brandon, I don't want to say reinvented himself, but found his true self. Because emo's not a phase.
It's not a phase.
And then he was putting on putting on shows and matches. He's honestly one of the most consistent and versatile wrestlers in the area, and he really should get more credit for that. Also, kind of like on a side note, at Hybrid, he is like one of those who coaches the young guys and girls. And he's really looked up to, and really does a lot for them there too. And you can see it when they're interacting around the shows and stuff. So I don't know what else you got, Tommy, from the weekend.
You said most of another one I wanted to add, which was in my top 3, is Dog Pound is now officially an affiliate of the NWA Texas, in a way to expand their territory system. This isn't the first time that's happened in Texas, because when what's his name? I know his name. I can't think of his name right now. Who owned NWA before? BLW was once part of that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
And so was Inspire once upon a time. And then of course, things happen like as they do. But now Dog Pound is part of that, of course, with Jazz and Rodney Mack doing so much with NWA, that just makes a lot of sense. So props to them for being part of the NWA's new territory system now. So, good for them.
Yeah, no, that's really cool. I saw that post afterwards, and I was like,
and Sean said it twice. He's right. Key Vibes won the United210 Women's Championship.
Oh, yeah. Shout out to Key.
Nice.
Okay. I got to admit this, because I wasn't sure what Pink we were going to get on the show tonight. If she was going to be more herself, if she was going to be a little more full GM Pink. We got real Pink, and I appreciate that. Yeah. But I kind of had it in my back pocket, because I know she's mentioned before how she sees, a lot of Cali and herself. She said it. She did say that. Mm-hmm. But in the back of my head, I was like, well, there's another girl from the South Side who's made good, who's won titles and didn't have to be so devious, and that's Key Vibes. Yep. Former RCW Women's Champion, the Queen of Hybrid, I believe the first actual female graduate, if I'm not mistaken.
I believe so, yeah.
And just won the United210 title against Sumi Sakai, which was a hell of a match. Sumi's super cool. yeah, so Key Vibe, shout out to her. Also, again, just another one like those nicest people. Always comes up to us and says hi, and super happy for her too. And she'll be involved at Hybrid this coming weekend. We talk about in a little bit.
Yep.
Also, from the who's going to be at RCW mentioned, but Epidemius Jr., Epi, just amazing luchador. Had a good showing also this weekend at several of the shows. Super impressive. And he's got the match with Fuego del Sol, which is like a hell of a lucha showdown there. But
match right there.
Yeah.
So I know we talked about Pinocchio and Black Rose being Strosio. That's going to be up there too.
Yeah, and that's the other one, right? That's going to kill it. So
yeah,
like we said, RCW's got a lot going for them.
Oh yeah.
Hybrid. It was so. One last thing, since Cali was in Louisiana, going after a gold at another promotion there,
I didn't have to see
they brought in a wrestler who we weren't sure what she was going to do, but she was on the Treats team because the Treats were facing Key Vibes and the Dead Man's Hand. Well, she didn't really want anything to do with the Treats. She thought she was coming in to wrestle Cali. So she was Reagan Lydell. And the Treats were trying to get her to cheat, and she was like, no, I'm not going to cheat. And actually wound up costing them, and the Dead Man's Hand got the win on that. So shout out to her. Already better than Cali because,
well, for starters, she's not Cali, so that gives her a huge boost, like immediately.
But yeah, no, just a hell of a weekend of wrestling. It was really cool. I got no schoolwork done, but that's cool. I'm fine with that. I've been getting it done during the week, so it was worth it.
Yeah. I was so tired.
Yeah, I bet you
Monday. Oh my god, bruh! I was sitting at work like.
I also threw a high school football playoff game in there on Saturday, but I left early because we kind of started getting blown out. So, oh well.
Fair enough.
But yeah, so United210 was awesome. That was the last show of their season. They should probably be back in March. Hybrid, we'll talk about in a second, is having another show this weekend in Lytle. And then Baracho Pro, I think they're similar. I think this kind of ended their season until sometime next year. I think they mentioned February is, I think, their first show back in Austin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then Dog Pound, I think they have another thing this weekend in Bandera, right?
Yeah, they want to Bandera.
So wrestling's going strong in the area, guys. Like we keep saying constantly on here. Find the shows. I know a lot of us that are in the chat where, we see each other at Hybrid RCW, but, venture out. There's a lot of good stuff going on.
Hey, Jason, sure. I was late for work on Monday.
Yeah, and speaking of, there's we mentioned RCW Saturday while Full Gear's going on. You have Hybrid's going to be out in Lytle.
Yep.
L-Town Throwdown too. Is that what they're calling it, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So still plenty of wrestling. It's just amazing stuff, right? So.
And I don't know if we're going to go over that card, but I do want to shout out one thing. Khan is on the card, who we have not seen since he lost his RCW title to Boamir.
Yeah.
And we kind of assume went to Florida for for Maddie related reasons. So be cool to see him back.
Absolutely.
Okay.
But yeah, they've got about 6 matches on the card, 7 matches. Funaki's facing Khan first of all, which again, big match for Jesse.
For sure.
The Flocking Brawlers are reuniting with Rob Love to face the Treats because the Treats are beating up the owner of one of the bars there in Lytle and just being dicks because they're the Treats. But yeah, should be a good show. We'll be there. Jason will be there. Angel will probably be there. Sean, I don't know if you'll be there. But yeah, looking forward to that.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about AEW Full Gear because guess what? With all this stuff going on locally, that is happening this weekend, guys. It seems almost like I feel like it got lost in the shuffle sometimes, So
I feel like this whole month has been insane to me, and I just lost track of time altogether. Like the fact that today's the 20th is still blowing my mind right now.
Well, we're gonna make predictions on the title matches on this because it's kind of a big card. Pre-show is starting with Big Boom AJ versus QT Marshall. Then there's MJF versus Roderick Strong. Jay White versus Adam Page. I know Tommy's really looking forward to this one.
Oh yes.
Yeah, for sure.
They can be rivals for forever. So for all I care.
I got to admit, it's kind of cool how they kind of swerved into and no offense or no pun intended, but out of the Hangman Swerve at rivalry ending right into this Jay White one, and it's almost been building in the same manner. Like right off the bat, they're just wanting to get violent and going back and forth. Like really good stuff there.
Yep.
Let's see here. Speaking of Swerve and Bobby Lashley.
Okay.
Wow.
Real quick.
What?
This is how stupid the internet is.
Well,
because I know we say it all the time. Oh, and Burns is still in chat. You know he'll say it. You can't fix stupid. He's absolutely right. Somebody in one of the groups I'm in posted, and I'm not kidding when I say this. They said they don't think Bobby Lashley is as intimidating as like Brock Lesnar or somebody. And I said, which Bobby Lashley are you talking about? Are you talking about are you talking about the dude who looks like he's chiseled out of stone, Bobby Lashley? Is that the one you're talking about? Because if that's what you're talking about, get all the way out of my face. So
do they not remember that Lashley also did MMA as well? He was pretty successful
and had a better win-loss record than Brock Lesnar? No, they don't remember that. They don't remember that at all.
Of course not.
They don't remember that Lashley is also legit and a legit tough guy. So
he's former like military or something, right? He was
he is
Air Force.
Right? Yeah.
I think he was on the Air Force wrestling team or something like that.
Yeah.
Too, so.
And also, there's a rumor how much that they're getting paid in AEW, and it's in the 7 figures. I think.
Good for them.
Like I think collectively, it's in the 8 for all 3 of them. So.
Yeah.
Yep, there Burns. I was waiting for him. There he is.
Will Ospreay versus Kyle Fletcher.
I think this could be a sleeper hit.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You almost feel like a title should be on the line, but there's no title here. It's
Right.
like wrestling, you know. So,
Mostly it's just a grudge match, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially with what they've been doing lately. In fact, on Dynamite, they had a 8-person tag, and Fletcher's former partner, Mark Davis, came back, and he sided with Ospreay because Fletcher's with the Don Callis family. But Ospreay accidentally hit Davis with a hidden blade when Fletcher moved out of the way. So
I saw a clip of that.
Yeah, that's going to be interesting. But I like what they're doing with Fletcher. AEW's tried this a few times where they take someone out of like kind of their face role, make them heel to try to push them. It did not work with what was his name? Preston Vance, the Dark Order. They took him out of the Dark Order. Took out his mask.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think he's on ROH now. I have no idea.
He's on ROH now. Yeah.
So, but this one I think with Fletcher is going to work a little bit better because
I think it's also because with this one you knew that they're legit friends outside the ring, so that was like, oh, that's sad. So
yeah.
All right, now the title matches, and we're predicting these TBS Championship: Mercedes Moné versus Chris Statlander. Mike, we'll start with you on this one.
I'm going to go with Statlander. I'm not complaining in the same manner that a lot of people are, but I do feel like this run or this start with Mercedes has just kind of missed a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't mind seeing Statlander win and maybe Mercedes doing a little bit of a
rebuild,
tweak or change in the character. Yeah. She's still one of, if not the best women in the ring. So I think this match is gonna kill it. I think it was smart for her to stop trying to do that kind of backpack flip around finisher that wasn't always easy to hit, and especially against someone like Statlander, who's just so big. Plus, I'm a huge Statlander fan. So,
all right, Tommy.
Actually, I was going to go with Statlander too because I just feel like that's kind of the, again, no pun intended, swerve they were going to go for with that one. So.
I'm at a point where I'm still not picking against Mercedes until she loses. It's just
that's why I'm sticking with her on this one. From that side of the Turner Broadcast Networks to the other side, TNT Championship, Jack Perry defending against Daniel Garcia. Again, I'm going with Jack Perry. Yeah, Daniel Garcia would be pretty cool, but I think we're still just getting started on with Jack Perry, so I'm going to stick with him. Tommy, what about you?
Actually, I was gonna go Daniel Garcia. To tell you the truth.
Okay.
So I don't know. I think you're right, and then I'll probably end up being wrong, which I'm cool with. But yeah, it's how I feel about it.
And Mike.
No, I'm gonna go the same. I need to get some of these belts off all the heels. Like literally every AEW champion is heel.
Except for the tag
what's that?
Except for the tag.
Oh, that's right. Private Party finally did. They beat the Bucks. That's good.
Yeah.
But then the Bucks try to be face at the end when they had. Never mind. Anyways.
Yeah.
Well,
they were faced with that moment, and then when they left, they were like, "Hey, you should help us with the Death Riders." They're like, "Dope, peace."
Yeah.
They just like took off. So.
But I think Daniel Garcia is one of those few that they feel like could be one of their future top faces. So
And they're right.
Yeah, why not?
No matter what the internet says.
Speaking of Private Party, they're defending the AEW World Tag Team Championship in a 4-way tag team match against the Outrunners, Kings of the Black Throne, and the Acclaimed. Tommy, who do you think is walking away with this one?
Part of me wants to say Kings of the Black Throne, but I gotta go Private Party. I don't think they lose them that fast. I don't think.
Okay. I'm sticking with Private Party also. Mike?
Yeah, no, me too. And for the exact same reason. Like, you did the whole storyline. You finally beat the Bucks, who are like the team, the people who own and run AEW. Like, it would suck, especially in a 4-way, to just take it off them right off the bat. So
Yeah.
Private Party.
All right, and then finally the AEW Championship. Jon Moxley is defending against Orange Cassidy. And look, as much as I would love to see Orange win this championship, it's not happening at Full Gear.
Nah.
I think he's really going to put on a hell of a show, but Mox is going to prevail, whether that involves some outside interference or not. But I just don't see it coming off Mox.
Yeah,
so far.
I don't either. I'm right there with you on that one.
Mike, you too?
Yeah, considering especially since I'm going with Statlander and Garcia, I should probably pick one to actually win, besides Private Party. No, same thing. And honestly, in the story they're trying to build, it makes more sense for him to not take it off him yet. But can I have my one wish? Can, after the match, when they're trying to beat him down and a few people show up after like 10 minutes, can Willow come out so we can have an AEW female to go against Mina Shafir? Can we have Willow? Willow is a good friend with Orange. She was in the conglomeration for a while. I would have chosen Statlander, but obviously Statlander's in the title thing. So Willow, please come out and stop beating up Mina Shafir. Because you also know that I hate when NWO went like 10 straight weeks of always ending the show on top. The faces need to get something in at some point.
The multiple limos to bring all the NWO members to.
Exactly.
All right. Well, AEW Full Gear, Saturday, November 23rd at 7 p.m. Central Time. I believe the buy-in starts at 6. It's taking place at the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey, and will be available on Triller TV, which is formerly Fight TV, ppv.com for $50. Also, if you got a Dave & Buster's in your area, that is going to be one of the AW Blast Zones. You can go check it out there. Probably have a cover charge. You can go watch Full Gear at Dave & Buster's.
I don't think there's David Buster's in Lidl, so.
No, there's not. No. But hightail it back over the one by Crossroads, I guess, right? So,
good.
Yep. All right. You guys have a 1-minute warning this week?
I don't think I do.
I do.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Let me actually load the video. I forgot to do that.
Well, I'm going to screen share again, so.
Oh, okay. Go for it then.
And it doesn't have to be a minute, but let me do this.
It never is.
Yeah, I know. Because this is also a shout out to our friend who has a big match coming up in December. So, WrestleCast family, Denise Day, Sunday, December 15th, down in the Valley.
Texas. Wow.
Yeah. Has a match against NWA Exodus Women's Champion, Tiffany Nieves, who many of us are well familiar with for her time at MPW.
Me.
So, huge match. Denise has she has some gold of her own from local things, but a shot at an NWA connected title is huge. And I was really looking at, would I be able to make this, but it's on a Sunday and it's not the Sunday that leads to Christmas break. It's the Sunday that leads to the last week of school.
Yep.
So, not a great chance of heading down there. But shout out to our friend Denise. It's a huge match. We know what Tiffany's all about. So get all that Latina meanness that you don't always like to bring out, but we know is in there. And go get yourself some national gold. You know what I mean?
You're gonna need it, man. That's a tough challenge. But
Yeah, it
I'm
is.
for it. So,
Right.
that's probably the first time they've seen each other since Mission Pro.
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So as JC and Tina would say, the pride of Nixon High, show them what's up. You know what I'm saying?
The pride of Nixon High versus La Princesa, who my son probably still has a crush on too.
Probably.
Oh, yeah.
I don't blame him.
Yeah.
And the boy got good taste, right?
Yeah,
Ain't nothing wrong with
we
that.
learned through wrestling that he has a thing for Puerto Rican girls. Let me tell you. So
That boy got good taste. That's what
Yeah.
I just said. That boy right there, been raised up right there. That boy right there gonna be all right there. He gonna be all right there.
Okay, why did you just enter the barbershop from Coming to America?
Because anytime a black dude is excited about something, the barbershop / uncle who's a mechanic just comes out of us.
That's fair.
yeah.
It's a grade in all black dudes. Like I don't know why it's there. It's like how every black parent, if they have more than one child, has to go through all the kids' names before they get to the one they're yelling at. So
With the unlit cigarette just hanging off the edge of the lip, like Cedric
Yeah.
Entertainer. Yeah.
I'm going now.
Yeah. Right.
What's worse is when you take the cigarette off, you can't understand the word they said. They need the cigarette to slow their words down. Like, what you got there now? Carburetor right there now? My carburetor, boy.
Yeah.
Bring that thing over here. I'll bring that carburetor for you right now, boy. So,
Oh my gosh.
you know what's funny is I know that's always a joke people tell, but I remember the dude's name, but my dad used to have a mechanic like that. And when I heard that joke, I was like, it wasn't just me who knew a dude like that. Oh my god! So the older I got,
Is that also the meme that they make LeBron look like? Have you seen that one a lot? Like it's not a GIF; it's just a picture. Well, he's got kind of the bandana and the little cigarette coming out of his mouth.
Dude, I'm telling you, it feels like the older I get, every black child had the exact same experience growing up. It's just that our parents' names were different.
All right, look real quick because you talked, JC, about Pink and being around our age.
Mhm.
If you ever do Reddit, there is a subreddit called Xennials, 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 which is our little group between Gen X and Millennials.
Mhm.
I have found my people. It's the stuff of our childhood. It's all the references we get. So if you're around our age, if you're around your early 40s, go check it out on Reddit because you found my people.
Yep.
Hilarious.
All right. I don't have a 1 minute one this week. It's kind of hard to follow what Tommy was just doing with the whole.
It's always hard to follow Tommy.
Yeah.
I can bring that back anytime you want to. Boy.
Yeah.
Bring that back, boy. I'll bring that back.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week.
Real quick, Jason just brought
what's
up
up?
something very important. The free meet and greet with Brian Cage.
Oh, that's right.
Friday at 5.
Okay.
This Friday, it's free. It's at a Rock's Discount Vitamins. That's on Valley High off 410, really down the road from where I'm at. 5 to 7:30.
Yeah, I'm
And Brian Cage,
yeah.
I'm gonna try to too.
Because I haven't seen him in person since Wrestle Circus when he was so
And the coincidence, he is Lance Archer's tag team partner at the moment.
that
boy.
just killed my mood because I forgot that's a thing.
So I feel like he's gonna be there and be like, I feel like I should beat you up. What's that about?
He shakes my hand. He's like, no, you know what's gonna happen? He's be like, you wouldn't happen to be Tommy? Wait, put this bandana back on. Yo, do you know Lance Hoyt? Yes, I know Lance Hoyt. He hates you. Yes, I don't. I'm not a fan of his either.
It makes so much sense now.
Yeah, it's like
Well,
wow.
if you're going and you see Tommy there, make sure your camera's rolling. You just never know.
But he's like, no, I'm serious. He like really hates. There's like a picture he has. He
Yeah.
steps on it before we go out to the race, so he can be angrier as possible. Other than that actually.
Oh,
makes
see,
sense. Shit.
Okay, Tommy. I don't know how old this is. I think it's current because I don't know what the chat's doing for me. But Angel tries to limit to 1 year old a show. So,
I just saw that. Yeah. I appreciate her trying that. I guess she's trying it for this show because the last 100 shows she's commented on, she said it every chance she gets. But okay.
yeah, Angel, I just really feel you should stop being influenced by Callie. Like, I know she offers to give you rides in her Power Wheel, but it's not as cool as it sounds. All right, and
Power wheels, power wheels.
That was hilarious.
I tried.
Rise in the Power Wheel. That was great.
Thank you, everybody, for joining us. This weekend, Hybrid is in Lytle for L-Town Throwdown 2 on Saturday. Also on Saturday, AEW Full Gear, 7 p.m. Central Time from the Prudential Center in Newark, New Jersey. Again, that's on Triller TV, pay-per-view.com, or just head over to Dave & Buster's. $50 is the pay-per-view cost. On Sunday, RCW Acceleration, the last RCW event of 2024. 5 p.m. Central Time. Doors opening at 4 from the Good Shepherd Lutheran Church on the southeast side. Standard room only tickets are probably the only thing they're going to have available. So if you're not able to get in, you can also watch it on Title Match Network.
Mm-hmm.
And again, thank you to our RCW co-GM, Reyna Pink, and RCW honoree as well.
Yep.
For joining us. And that was pretty cool to go through the card. Next week, we'll recap everything happening this weekend, and we're going to preview, honestly, something that's been talked about for a good while, WWE Survivor Series War Games.
War Games.
Now, just to confirm with you guys, we're doing this show on Monday next week?
Thank you for reminding me.
Yes.
Yes.
Because I completely forgot what that was.
So, yeah, because of Thanksgiving week.
With Thanksgiving week, sometimes we head out of town on Wednesday. So we will have this show on Monday night, probably around 9:30 or so.
And since Raw is 2 hours, you won't even have to miss the last part of it.
No, not at all. And enjoy Raw while you can before it starts looking like the old 8-bit video games when it goes to Netflix.
On Netflix, it's going to be buffering and take like 5 hours to get through. So.
This isn't a 1 minute warning, but I will say this: anyone who watched that Jake Paul Tyson fight and fully fell for that hype, don't you ever make fun of pro wrestling ever again. You've lost all right to make fun of pro wrestling. You don't
100%.
You have no leg to stand on with this anymore. Because at least with our stuff, at least the excitement usually delivers. Okay? Mm-hmm. It's over. Pro wrestling won, y'all lost. Boom.
Yeah, my biggest thing I hated about that is that Jake Paul's entrance music should have been Mike Tyson's. So fuck you, Jake Paul, for that. Yeah.
And also just in general.
Yeah, I was gonna say, that could just be a shirt.
Yeah, that's true. Once again, thank you everybody for joining us. Again, Monday next week we will be talking about War Games. And not just the War Games match taking place at RCW, but what is going to be on the WWE side of things after Thanksgiving week, after everybody's gone their Black Friday shopping, aka the Purge, all that fun stuff. So let me get the music going here. Over here, we got Tommy.
Thanks, guys.
We got Mike.
Thanks, guys. Be good to each other.
And I'm JC. As always, heels and baby faces, remember, pro wrestling is real.
People are fake.
Reach for the sky, boy.
Boom.
See you next week.
Bye. Adios, Kunti.